Test, 1 2 1 2. Test, 1 2 1 2. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope that you guys are having a good start to your morning. AMC is ripping. So, let's see what we got. All right, we're looking like a slight resistance at 42.50. There it goes, just broke about 42.50. I got 2,100 shares. I bought a couple more shares as it was building a support level here. Let's see if we can hit $43 a share. Here we go. All right, resistance at 42.59. Slight pullback. So 42.15. It's my current entry right now. Or just bought more at 42.15. Good morning, good morning. What's going on? Alex, Nathaniel, Kenny, Fabian, Jason, Ryan, Nick, Anthony, Rick. What's up? What's up? Hope that you guys are all having a good start to your morning. Here it goes. AMC ripping. There it goes. Gapping up. Look at that. 42.76. $42.70. There we go. All right, 42.50. Big pullback. Watch for this drop. All right, 42.40. Descending MACD, right? So watch out for the descending MACD. Are we losing our momentum? Here we go. Alright, I'm going to do half here, just in case. Come on. See if we can still continue to hold. $42.40. You guys see that hesitation there? So showing signs of a potential resistance. We're consolidating. Here it goes. Can we break above 42.50? Come on. Nope. Rejected. Here it goes. 42.50. Tries again. Here it goes. Next candle. Let's see if we can break above. Oh, not looking too bad. There it goes. 42.55, 42.60, 42.65. All right, I'm going to sell a portion here. 42.63, we're at 42.70. So again, my exits are never perfect. That shouldn't always. I feel like sometimes trying to aim for a perfect exit puts you in a more uncomfortable situation than anything. I don't know if you guys can agree on that, but it's just an uncomfortable feeling sometimes where you're aiming to sell at such a high price point, yet you do so poorly, right? Oh, I'm not sick. I just have allergies. I appreciate it though. All right, here we go. Everything else seems to be in the red, right? We got Facebook down a quarter or down a little bit under 1%. There it goes. A lot of consolidation here, so let's watch out for a potential pullback. Do you guys see this hesitation? Descending MACD showing signs of a potential resistance, so just a little fair warning that it is showing signs of potentially a resistance level and getting ready for a pullback. So I'm going to sell once again. Not the best exit, 42.35, but again, still up a decent amount on the day, $6,000. And now we're just going to wait to see if we actually pull on back. And if we do, I can always buy back more. If we break out, then again, I can get back in even heavier, right? So let's be aware that we have options. We don't have to always try to just be perfect when it comes down to these trades. That's what I want to continue to encourage one another to do, to become a little bit more comfortable. There it goes, huge pullback, and this is where, look at that huge freaking pullback. This is where I want to buy more. I would rather buy more here. Make a little bit more sense. All right. Here we go. Let's not get too excited. Watch for confirmation of a support. That was a really, really strong pullback. Went from, in 1 minute, went from highs of 42.46 down to 41.35. So a quick drop. It could still continue to drop. Here we go. I'll buy in increments of 150 just to give myself a little bit of cushion. All right, there it goes. Looks like it's trying to find a support level here. Still dropping. So ticker HUD looking like it could be reversing soon. All right, we'll check it out. Showing signs of a potential support here. We'll see if it holds. There it goes. Trying to hold. There it goes, picking up right once again. All right, that was my last average up. You guys see that? So we waited for the pullback. It showed signs of a support level. I loaded off here, so this allowed me to buy back at a lower level, and I can make up the difference, right? So if I got in at an average of 41.75 here, I still have nearly 2 to 2.5% to potentially make. based off of previous highs and where it pulled back to, right? So I didn't have 2,500 shares here and then just write it back down and write it back, right? I can lock in profits, wait for a pullback, load up more, and then ride the reversal if it plays out that way, which it does not have to, but we'll see which or how it holds up. There it goes, picking up. MACD's looking good, indicating signs of a reversal. AMC is super active today. Please be very careful with AMC. If this is something that you are not used to, just understand that maybe putting a little bit less money behind the trade might be useful for you as you're becoming familiar with how to control your emotions, your excitement, your sadness, however it might be, depending on how AMC fluctuates. Please take that into consideration. So we're going to now transition to selling as we approach the resistance level right around 42.50 to 42.80. You guys can see previous resistance range around here, so I can even load off here just a little bit. You guys can see that resistance, right? 42.50. Again, it hit highs of 42.83. This is what some people don't understand. It hit highs of 42.83, but a lot of that consolidation was done right around 42.50. So if we get rejected around this area, you can't be surprised, right? Because this is where most of the consolidation was. This is just where we peaked. So it's a resistance range right around 42.50, and you can see that it's experiencing it right now. So this is why it's super important to understand overbought and oversold ranges, not just specific price points. Oh, I do see that. Urban Outfitters up 4% on the day. I like that. Always great to see. There he goes. What's it called? AMC testing 42.50. Urban Outfitters indicating signs of an uptrend on the 4-hour time frame. We've been watching this for a while. We've been waiting for the break above the moving average and the EMA line. It's great to see that it's finally there. So congrats to everyone who has been patiently waiting. Here it goes. AMC breaking above. So this is where I'm going to begin to load off, right? We're approaching that resistance range. I just wanted to explain myself as I begin to load off. I'm going to do it with a market order, as in I'm not super specific. It's trading around 42.60. I don't need to get out at an exact price point. So we'll see if it pulls back here once again, and or if it continues to uptrend. And there it goes, slightly pulling back. What's going on? Is it Darian? What's up? Hope that you're having a good start to the morning. Really indicating signs of an uptrend today. All right, here we go. Big pullback, so we slightly reduced it there. AMC with, I'll break it down. I'm probably gonna buy more of Urban and average up into it. I just have to take into consideration how much it has gapped up, but I like it. There it goes. All right. All right. Let's see if we can build that support. Even set a limit order with 700 shares. This could be a 4250. Alrighty, so Ricky, are you in Snap? I am not. I have to follow up with it, so I am not in Snapchat though. I can check it out though. Is Urban Outfitters still indicating signs of an uptrend? So okay, Snap is still oversold, right? It's still not really indicating signs of an uptrend. Yeah, so I have my alert set on this. Oh, I did. I just deleted it. Let me set that back. So I have my alert set on it. I wouldn't really want to touch it until it begins to indicate signs of an uptrend. The way that I think about something like Snapchat, first off, we have so much margin to work with, right? Why am I going to try to nickel and dime a huge opportunity, right? So instead of trying to force an entry and thinking that I have small margins, I know I have a lot to work with. So because of that, I'm just going to set an alert, stay patient with it, understand the margin I have to work with, and I can leave it from there. So if we get confirmation, great. If we don't, then it really doesn't matter to me, right? Because I'm waiting for confirmation. I think that's the beautiful thing about those specific type of plays is you need to understand that when you have that much margin, when you're not rushed to get into an opportunity, you don't have to rush the process. You don't have to make an excuse on why you need to get in right now and or why you have to force that entry before the confirmation. So yeah, that's my thought process behind right now Snapchat. Like, yeah, I could get in right now and hope that that's the lowest price point and or Snap can continue to sell off and then I write it down with a price, and I would rather not do that. I'm not eager to get into Snapchat. I like the opportunity, I respect it, but I want it to prove itself to me that it can make a recovery. You get what I mean? Yeah, let's follow up with Garmin in just a little bit. Remind me of that in just a bit. I just want to see if we break above 4250. If we do, it looks like it's almost building this bull flag pattern. If it continues to rally and consolidate around 4250, I think that there could be a breakout and or we're going to see a strong drop. So I think that's kind of what I'm looking out for right now. And it's already dropping. Let's see. Watch for the pullback. Watch for the pullback. Look at this. Again, not every trade has to go according to plan. Alright. It's definitely, how we were trading in the morning and it had a lot of momentum. A lot of bullish activity, right? It looks like it's kind of slowing down, right? The volume's slowing down, the momentum's slowing down. It's taking longer to indicate signs of a reversal. we should begin to pick up on this, right? So I'm not going to average down on it or average up into it as aggressive as before. So maybe my position size should stay under 1500 at this point. So this is why I'm going to load off on AMC if we get there. So we'll see if we do. If not, then we're going to have to formulate a different plan. But let's see where we go. But you guys see that, right? We're losing the momentum or the rate that we are increasing in value, right? So that should be a red flag for you of yeah, so I appreciate that, Paul. James, I don't know if you tuned into the first part of the live trading, but I was explaining where I was buying and why I would sell at overbought levels to buy at oversold levels. You know, it was consolidating here, indicating signs of a resistance level. So I went from 2,300 shares, something like that, 2,500 shares, and then I sold all the way down to 1,300 shares. So I sold over 1,000 shares, and then I bought 1,000 shares and I wrote it back. There it goes, really nice push. I'm just not gonna hesitate to lock in profits here, team. There it goes. Let's see if we can. Oof. So I really sold quite a bit. Look at that. I only have 1,000 left, but it's fine. It's fine. I need to understand overbought and oversold levels. Now I'm not, you know, if it breaks out, I can jump back in. But if it pulls on back, I'm not gonna be, you know, anxious. I'll be cool, calm, and collected. Let's see. This is exciting. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Up nearly $8,000 on the day. Look at that, 43.50. Wow. And again, you guys can see this firsthand, right? Like, I could not predict that. Obviously, I sold 1,000 shares and I missed out, if anything, on about, what was that? Right? I sold out, my second exit was around here at 42.70, something like that. And I missed out on about $1 per share. So I missed out on potentially $1,000. But again, like, I'm not a perfect trader. I can't predict the future. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I can. We shouldn't predict like we can, or we shouldn't pretend like we can. I think that's one of the biggest things that we all need to understand is, like, if you're always going to be scared to lock in profits because it could potentially go higher, think about that. If you're going to be scared to lock in profits because something could potentially go higher, you're never going to sell. You're always going to be in fear to sell. What's the point of that? Right? What's the point of that? What's the point of being scared to lock in profits? Your job is to enter and exit when it makes sense to you, not to pretend to be perfect, right? So this is why it's so important for you to understand that you can always get better over time. How to exit, how to average up. But the important part is that you are doing it, that you are at least implementing that action on a daily aspect, right? So I'm loading off right now also on my Fidelity account. I'm up a good chunk of change there. So yeah, that was quite fun. There it goes, 43.50. Alrighty. Ooh, I like that. It's not how much you could make, it's how much you get to keep. I think that's a great perspective because that's all it's about, right? It's all about perspective and making sense of what's going on. So look at that. Look at that. Huge push. Just gonna sell a little bit more here. Alrighty. $44 a share. Here we go, approaching. Watch out with that slight resistance. Alright, let's see. I'm not even super eager to exit, but waiting to see if it's worth it. Nice pullback. That's what I love to see. So 42.94. Let's see. All right, here it goes. Strong recovery. So Ricky, I am holding KR from 40. Do you think that I should sell or expect some pullback? I actually just bought some Kroger yesterday. I meant to make a video on it. There's just so many things that I was being asked yesterday just due to my AMC trades. So I didn't, but I like Kroger. I like Kroger and the price that it's at, but I bought yesterday, so I don't know what that puts me at. I didn't even pay attention to my fill price. I didn't even pay attention to my average purchase price. I just liked the way that it looked on the day chart. Yeah, it's up another 3% today. So are you at? Oh, okay. So you're up on it. So if you're in at 40, no, I mean it's up to you. If you want to sell, then sell 100%. I still think that we're in the very early stages. This is what I'm looking at. Support. I saw that yesterday it broke above the EMA line, so that's why I bought some, and it's indicating signs of an uptrend. I only bought $10,000 worth of it, right? So it's not very much, but yeah, if you want to lock in profits, I'm never here to convince you otherwise, right? Or if you want to reduce your position size, then so be it, right? So don't be afraid to do that. But I bought yesterday because I saw there to be a little bit more margin, but that's just me. So sell, right? Lock in profits. How about GRMN? Yeah, sorry about that. I know it took a while. So let me break this down very quickly. So this one's, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, very similar to something like Snapchat, right? Where it's oversold, but it's not indicating signs of an uptrend. I have my alert set for the break above EMA, and there's a lot of margin that it has for a potential recovery. Because of that, I wouldn't rush into that entry. I would encourage yourself that if you're so certain that this thing has to make a recovery, then challenge yourself to wait for the actual confirmation. Do you get what I mean? Actually challenge yourself to wait for that confirmation. I think that could make a big difference. So AAL up about 1%. All right, 42.60, 42.62. Nice exit. Let's see. Yep, GME is up 19% on the day. So GME is ripping it even more than AMC. So it's great to see. Very overbought. All of them are. But look at that, approaching the previous resistance level of $44. Look at that. No stopping this. So, all right, I'll sell in increments of 150. There it goes. We did a good job exiting out of AMC. Not perfect, but good. I have not, no. So it's up. It's up after, does it have earnings today or tomorrow? It's up 5% on the day. Looks like it gapped up yesterday. It looks like it might have already reported earnings. No, yeah, it is tomorrow. That's weird. It gapped up very aggressively. I think Lyft was up as well. No, I thought I got an alert for Lyft. Yeah, Lyft is up 9%. So is it something about rideshare or what's causing these stocks to push up? They both have consistent descending patterns. So they're making lower highs and lower lows based off of recent patterns. So it's great that it gaps up, but it normally, again, this is why it's so important to take, not just look at the day and be all excited to buy, but to look at the overall big picture. Because as of right now, it's been selling off, making lower highs and lower lows, and it gaps up and then it sells off. It gaps up and then it sells off. So it's super important to understand that, so you understand your overall intention when you're deciding to buy it. So all right, here we go. So thoughts on KR? I just talked about Kroger. So we had a member ask about so I just bought some Kroger yesterday. I thought it was showing signs, really good signs of it, indicating signs of an uptrend, recovering, especially on the year chart, right? I like that support is established. We broke above the EMA. We're indicating signs of an uptrend. So I still think that there's margin to make, but if you want to lock in profits, if you want to sell, 100%. I'm never here to discourage you to, not do so, right? So it looks like we do have a slight resistance at 42.50 on the day, but I'm not in a rush to sell, at least not myself. So I'm fine with where I'm at right now. I think it's based off of the urgency address. That's a really good question. So normally when something pushes up very aggressively, I'll sell in much larger, chunks of positions. If something is slowly indicating signs of an uptrend, then I'll slowly average out of it, right? The same thing with averaging into it, right? So something might pull back and I might buy, 50, 100 shares here, but if it sells off all the way down to, kind of how it did over here, where it sold off very quickly, I bought like 300 right away, right? Which 300 to me is kind of a big chunk of change to buy within a very short period of time after a sudden change of movement. So, Yeah, I think that's important to understand. It's the overbought and oversold levels, how quickly we're gapping up, because normally when I see something gap up very quickly, I see it pull back just as quick, right? We see this time and time again where we gap up and it's great, but then it pulls right on back. So I have to be quick with loading off to anticipate this pullback so I can load back up and then anticipate the push, load up, and then it pulls right on back, right? So now I'm ready to load up, but we'll see if it actually happens. One thing that I need to get better at, and this is why I like having these live streams with you guys, is looking now big picture, AMC is very overbought. If I were to ask you, based off of where it normally trades at, is AMC overbought or oversold, right? We could see that it tends to have a support level around $35, a resistance level right around $44, right? So I am more at a resistance than I am at a support based off of previous patterns. It doesn't mean that it has to continue to get rejected. It could break out, it could shoot, right? 100%. But just based off of previous patterns, I'm at a potential resistance level. This should throw a red flag in my head and be like, hey, this is where you should choose to be more selective instead of averaging up blindly or more aggressively like you would down here, right? Averaging down here made sense because I had the opportunity cost in my favor. A previous support level, there's more upside, but it wouldn't make too much sense over here. So let's not get too excited on the day chart because of how much AMC is pushing up and forget the overall big picture and looking at previous patterns that were at a resistance level. And if we do get rejected, I don't want my average purchase price to be $43 or $44, right? I want to reduce most of my position up here, and if it pulls on back, then I can load back up at $35 a share. Make sense? It's understanding where you're at and the perspective if you're at a support or at a resistance, and that should influence to some degree or take into consideration if you want to continue to average up at that price point very aggressively. If not, then, and if you choose to do so, then what's your exit strategy? Because if all of a sudden it begins to pull on back down to $35, what are you going to do? Where are you going to manage your risk? Where are you going to cut losses? Always something you need to take into consideration and not just think that it's going to be bullish forever, because it's not, right? We need to anticipate and know when to pull out and to call it quits, that we're okay with the money that we made, right? To anticipate and prepare for that pullback. I hope that makes sense. Do you still lock in profits on blue chips, long-term stocks when they're overbought? I do, but not as aggressively. I'm not super eager to if it's overbought, but it still has ways to go based off of previous levels. I wouldn't be super eager to lock in profits, right? So like an example can be Kroger's overbought on the day, but I'm not going to lock in profits just because I'm up a little bit on Kroger because I still see a lot more upside margin. So I tend to be a little bit more relaxed with those specific trades because I don't view them to be hyped up stocks. I'm very open when I trade AMC. I know it. I mean, if anything, people get offended. You guys can see by the YouTube comments, right? When I upload a video about how much money I made trading AMC, it's not even about the money that I focus on. I think the entire video yesterday or last night, I focused on showing and expressing where I sold and why I sold, and encouraging people, regardless if it's AMC or not, to not be afraid to lock in profits on whatever stock, right? To not aim for a perfect target, but to understand why it's so important to, just sell, period. And I love talking about if I'm going to take advantage of a risky play, I label it as a risky play. If people ask me, should I get in? I have friends that message me all the time. Ricky, do you think I should buy AMC? And I actually had a conversation yesterday, and more often than not, I always say no. It's a risky stock. I don't want to feel bad if, I watch this stock every day. I can manage my risk. I feel like I'm well versed in this market, right? If someone's just getting started and they see that AMC, pushes up, but then they don't know when to lock in profits, they don't know what overbought or oversold levels are, they don't know how to manage or mitigate risk, then I feel like it's different, right? It's a different monster. So you need to understand when you can take things a little bit more lightly and approach a stock in a more conservative way, and when you have to be more structured, more disciplined, and more tight with your trades because the stock is a little bit, riskier. It's a little bit more volatile. That's not something I discussed, Nick, but I appreciate you asking. But we're doing good. So I'm still waiting for 44. Yeah, you guys can see that it's definitely slowing down. I mean, the MACD and everything looks really good at the EMA line right now. But we'll see if we actually build a support or I actually think that we're going to pull on back pretty strong. So it was doing a lot of consolidation here. I felt like if we didn't see that breakout, we would have seen a big drop. So we'll see if we drop right back down to, $41. And friendly reminder, if it drops back down to $41, it doesn't mean that it has to recover back to 44. What I'm trying to say is understand when enough is enough. We're at a resistance level, understand that it doesn't have to continue to rally. So that's the whole purpose of this live stream. I talked about position size, I talked about overbought and oversold levels, not just on the day, but overall big picture. So let's take that into consideration. So thoughts on Netflix. Okay, so on the day chart, wow, that's made a steady recovery. Very bullish, very consistent. Do I view it to be a good deal? No, it's bullish. So if you want to get in for that, then great. Do I think opportunity cost? I think it's the best stock to buy right now. No, it's bullish. It's consistent. I like deals, so I would rather buy it. I like the challenge. I like the struggle. I would rather buy something when it pulls back and people are uncertain. I mean, I don't feel like Netflix is going anywhere, so I'm okay with waiting for a pullback for an opportunity to present itself, and then I'll choose to take advantage of it there. So that's just me, though. There it goes, AMC with a slight little pullback. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, right? Because if it does break above $44 and it tries to shoot up to 50, then that can be a whole different thing. But one of the things that you should always be reminded is that, be structured with your entries and your exits. If AMC breaks below this certain price point, I'm going to do this. If AMC breaks above this specific price point, I'm going to do this. So at least you're prepared. So if it begins to break out, you're not scared to get back in. You're prepared. If AMC pulls back, then you're not scared to cut losses and or lock in profits altogether and be completely out. Don't be afraid to, have these, premeditated plans. So is it still going up? Yeah, there it goes. We're doing good. I averaged up into Urban on my Fidelity account, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. Alrighty. Alright, but I had a lot of fun with you guys. I don't know if you guys did too. I feel like today, and let's be honest, right? Like today was a pretty unique day. Today was a very bullish day. It's very easy to make money on bullish days. Let's not pretend like we're special. Let's not pretend like we have it all figured out. One of the things that I always love sharing with, of course, our Learn Plan Profit group is on my green days, I prepare for my red days, and on my red days, I prepare for my green days. We're not invincible. We're only as good as the direction of the market. And fortunately, today the market was bullish, right? It was in our favor, and we were at the right place at the right time. We're not invincible by any means, right? So it's a great way to remind us that every day is a new challenge. It doesn't matter how much you made yesterday, the week before, the month before, the year before. The stock market does not discriminate. It doesn't care who you are or how much money you have. It is all based off of how to seek opportunity and manage and mitigate risk. right? So it's time to prepare and find the new one, right? If AMC begins to break out, then great, we can follow up with it. If it begins to pull back, then great, we'll wait for the dip. If we begin to see, all these other stocks that I'm invested in, right, begin to pick up, then we can average up into those and or reduce the position size. So I just got the alert that Urban Outfitters, yep, there it goes, breaking above $35 a share. So it might be time to even buy a little bit more. So I'm excited to follow up. Let's not get carried away with all this hyped up meme stock thing, right? Let's come back to earth and understand that it's great to have our risky trades. Let's not be afraid to lock in profits, but also take into consideration what opportunities are we taking advantage of overall for our long position. So I appreciate you guys' time. Friendly reminder, if you guys haven't taken part of the TechBuds apparel giveaway, you guys don't have to. It's just again a friendly reminder. We're going to be selecting one giveaway winner to win a brand new 2021 MacBook Pro and $1,000 cash. I'm pretty sure the new MacBook Pros are $2,000 plus. You're gonna get $1,000 cash. If you want to use that to fund your training account, then so be it. Again, we're gonna be giving this away on December 1st, and you can be entered automatically to our giveaway simply by shopping on our site. And this is all automated. So every $1 you spend is equivalent to 5 entries. So if you pick up a mouse pad, if I'm not mistaken, at $30, that's 150 entries. If you buy a $10 item, again, then 50 entries. You guys get the deal, right? Mouse pads, aluminum art, flags, apparel, it's all included. 5 entries for every $1 spent. And again, it only takes 1 entry to potentially be our giveaway winner. So make sure you check that out at shoptechbuds.com. I really do appreciate you guys' time. Hope and wish you guys an amazing rest of your day. Continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. I hope that if you're new to the Learn Plan Profit team, if you just simply want to introduce yourself, message me via Discord. Keep it under 150 characters, please. And if you're joining us from Instagram, then make sure you follow up and give me some feedback over direct message. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a great note.